What is going on, guys? DragonTamerBlayde here, back some more Elder Scrolls Legends, and today we're going to play a deck that you've probably run into at some point or another on the ladder. We're going to play some Burn Assassin. The point of this deck is pretty simple. You stockpile some of these zero-cost cards. If possible, you also get some extra ones with Pawnbroker and eventually Spoils of War. And you set up Hexmage and a market, and you kind of just go to town. The rest of the deck is basically just drawing cards and doing some incremental damage to stay alive until your turn 7 or 8. When you want to drop your Hexmage, drop a market, start playing zero-cost cards, which will trigger both the Hexmage and the market, which will reduce spoils very quickly. And then once spoils gets down to 0, it will again trigger both the market and the Hexmage, draw 2 cards, and you potentially just burn your opponent down from there. That is the general gist of the deck. It's not bad, but it's also not super consistent either. Meaning that if you kind of don't find your markets or you don't find your Hexmage, the deck can sometimes struggle. But this is, I would say, by far the most powerful Burn Assassin's been in the life of the game so far. Besides maybe, and they used to play Mage back then, it was an Action Mage deck. Back when things like Crystal Tower Crafter weren't nerfed yet. It used to be a 2-2, by the way. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and just give this deck a shot. I know we don't really play quote-unquote meta decks, but sometimes I just want to dip into it just to show you guys what's out there. And it's also helpful from my perspective to play what's good at the moment. Just so I can kind of, I don't want to say recognize, but get an appreciation for what's going on. I haven't played this deck before, so I don't really know what the mulligans are, but I think keeping a Hexmage is probably always a good idea.
Greetings, citizen.
Other than that, you're just really looking for cards to draw, and sometimes you're going to be forced to play your zero-cost cards early,
I want to be an
although it's not really ideal. We'll pass for now. Next turn we'll Shadow Marking, and then if we have to, we'll curse that.
I will have my vengeance.
You can trust me.
Alright, so that's a little scary. We will give probably the Debilitate to our opponent. The Spoils is much more important to have.
Surprise!
So we have 2 of the most important pieces now.
I will have my vengeance.
We must remain steadfast.
Although that is essentially a hard counter to our deck.
I bark and burn.
Have business with House Halalu. Nothing will trace back to us.
Do I keep that card? Let's dump it for now. We can at least take this out next turn. We're still going to be pretty close to dead, so we might have to set up the market early and just kind of hope it sticks.
I will have my vengeance.
Enjoy the next life.
You're going to overdraw a card. And that was a wonderfully timed Harpy.
I will cut your
So it
purse.
comes to violence.
I think we have to spend the Magicka to get rid of this. Alrighty.
Didn't see this coming, eh?
I will have my vengeance.
We have the Paralyze to buy ourselves a turn. Into Lightning Bolt?
Not fear
Nope.
death.
Into Fighters Guild Recruit. I don't really want to use my 0 cost here, but we really need to open up some options. We need to get this down a little bit more.
My business is none of theirs.
We can get this down a little bit more.
My business is none of theirs.
And you're gonna hit a prophecy.
So, it has been written.
Okay. I think we just go for the debilitate. And unfortunately, we probably just die now.
Khajiit will find a way in. They'll never outsmart me. Come and have a taste, fetch.
Shadow shift that over. Can't do anything else right now. This is indeed unfortunate. Even just this thing gaining life is really bad. But we could potentially debilitate to buy ourselves another turn.
They make it too easy.
To oblivion with you.
Unfortunately, the problem is now we still died a lightning bolt. But if he doesn't have lightning bolt, he has to trade this in. He just has a battle mace.
Full of surprises.
Alrighty. So that was about as poor as it could possibly go, and we were still kind of teetering on the brink of winning that one. Anytime you see a Withered Hand Cultist, it's basically a hard counter. Especially since the deck, this list we're running is pretty light on creatures. But we still almost won that, despite everything that could possibly go against us there going against us. I guess you could say probably shouldn't have kept the curse in the opening hand. Now I know for next time. And also drawing 3 Hexmages mid-game was a little bit awkward. Let's full ship this. This hand's not great, but Ice Spike can help. We were also, last game, forced to use our 0 costs earlier than we would have liked to. Like, if we could have held off until we had a Hexmage on the board, I think we could have potentially pulled it off. But I mean, still, that was not a bad showing for how, like, worst case scenario that entire round was.
I do not fear death.
Alright, so far I think we just kind of stick on the plan.
The Black Hand sees all.
The good news is there shouldn't be many prophecies that can disrupt what we're doing besides a potential cast out. The bad news is we can't play we can't play okay, that's fine, whatever. We can't play our markets until it's exactly time to go off, just because of what this is going to be able to do. That is a great Abyssian Navigator. These guys will also be nice just for getting some chip damage in. The more damage you can do, the less you need from your combo. He could Firebolt and like Skaven or Tiny Dragon, depending on what kind of deck he is over here. This can represent another 2 damage, and then we have another 2 over here.
Care to make a friendly wager?
I'm kind of interested in making sure this dies. Especially since he put so much into it.
To oblivion.
Okay. I mean, so no matter what, we'll be able to debilitate next turn if we feel like that is the play.
Law can take you. I will cut your purse and your throat.
Or we can save the debilitate and just go
The
Black Hand Messenger into Thieves Guild Recruit and keep our board alive.
This is interesting.
Guess we could have also saved Black Hand Messenger in hindsight, but I still feel okay with this. I like having the Firebolt. And we had the Magic of Despair last turn. We didn't really have any other drawing we wanted to do. I'm okay with this. We're still looking for our combo pieces.
To oblivion with you.
Interesting.
This one will protect us on the roads.
Move Archer, I guess, is the play here. So let's draw first. We want to give our opponent probably a Thieves Guild Recruit. We'll Firebolt this thing down.
I will cut your purse.
Let's keep drawing. We're really just trying to dig here. We have double spoils, which means if we can find the combo, we basically win. And we're almost at the point in the game where we'll have the Magicka to do so. Let's use one debilitate for now. Although we don't really care about his board, necessarily. Come on, man.
Honor and praise. I can always find a way.
Guess we'll just pass. Try and set up a debilitate next turn. Again, I'm not super worried about the curses as much as I just want to get rid of this so he doesn't get like immense value from it. Although if he has a gambit and a crossbow, we could potentially see him just pull out a ton of creatures. Dug through 20 cards so far and can't find either of our 6 combo pieces. So we're having the opposite end of the bad luck this time. But it's a DTB video, so what do you expect?
Sail through storms, does it again.
Hopefully he pulls out something that's debilitatable. That's not ideal. Okay. Anything else he plays, we just have to hope it dies to debilitate. We're actually coming up on a point where we might need to just pay full cost for our spoils. Okay. Okay.
Stand with me.
Alright, there's one of our pieces. So I think I will use 1 spoils here. Can he kill me this turn? 7, 10, 14, 16. I don't think so. So we will use 1 spoils. And not find anything that we need. We're just a market away. We're probably almost within range of going for the Hexmage finishing. Actually, probably closer than we think. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 actions we can play, which could bring spoils down to 1, potentially 0 if he leaves Swims at Night up to go face. Okay.
The forest is ours. My claws greet your throat. What have we here?
The flip side is we just go for a Debilitate and try and buy 1 extra turn.
Sails through storms, does it again.
Which that might be the play. Watch us burn a market here. We do not burn a market here, so that's pretty good. We have 2 Hex Mages. So
They'll
let's
never outsmart me.
do some of this. No matter what, we can't kill that, so we have to quiet it down a little bit. Two, 4, 6, 8. I mean, technically we're pretty close. So I guess let's start pushing a little bit and see what we can get to. Sometimes you could just find lethal because of spoils. Yeah, I think we have it.
My sword is yours.
A fine battle.
Alright, so that's kind of how the deck works. I mean, we didn't even really get set up. We just got close enough to where we could just do degenerate things, and that's what the deck is capable of. You just kind of ignore your opponent long enough to collect your combo pieces, and then you go to town. That's the gist of the deck. You got to see what counters it, which is Withered Hand Cultist is a hard counter to the deck. Sometimes you can struggle against aggro beating it down too quickly. But other than that, the deck is very hard to beat if it finds its pieces, and we saw what goes on there. But yeah, that's going to be it for now, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Maybe we'll play a couple other of the popular decks that are going around the ladder over the course of the next couple weeks. Probably bring a budget deck to you tomorrow for one of the other new Alliance War houses. I don't know. We'll see how the week goes. But yeah, that's going to be it for now. Thank you all very much for watching. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.